coming. Walked off, left my GoPro at home. But here it is. I don't know, 4 o'clock in the morning or so. We're getting ready to roll out and head up to Chicago. Stop to get fuel and fill up my coffee cups. I forgot the coffee cup in the truck over the weekend, so I couldn't fill it up before I leave the house. I'm trying to conserve my coffee I got in the truck, so I didn't realize I was as low as I was in the truck. So we'll see how this week rolls. But you just look at that sunrise coming up over the J.B. Weld Bridge. My. We finally got unloaded and over here waiting to get our shingles to go back to Farmington. Kind of wait to see what we got going on the rest of the week. Right now, things are just kind of up in the air right now between what we're doing anyway. So waiting to get loaded and head on down the road. We kind of got held up at our delivery location. Lack of communication, that type of deal. New guy, didn't know who to talk to or what to say. You know how it go. And I often get asked what happened with my last job and what made me decide to get back in a truck, and why did I decide to get back in a truck, especially when I say it really wasn't my first choice. The story goes a little something like this. I was working at a mine in Missouri, Fredericktown, Missouri, called Missouri Cobalt. The cobalt mine there, pretty much self-explanatory in the name. We were mining for cobalt, for lithium batteries, for those who don't know what cobalt's used for. And long story short, I really enjoyed that job. But I got caught breaking a major safety rule. Just a really bad judgment call on my part. Failed to do lockout, tag out, and got caught by the mill supervisor. And one thing led to another. You had to do an incident report, and which eventually led to me getting terminated. So this is where things get interested on the story, because I was hired by the phone and fired by the phone. And not even 20 minutes. Well, let's back up just a little bit. I got fired. My next idea was to go to work for another mining company close to home called the Doe Run Company. But before I jumped the gun on filling any applications out, I stopped for a second, said a prayer to God, asking what direction I need to go. And almost instantly, I got a phone call, which I took as my answer. So within 20 minutes of being fired on the phone, I get a phone call from my father-in-law. He was kind of in a pickle, because he had loads booked and doctor's appointments booked for the same days, for the same days. And just as coincidence would fall, well, guess what? There was Clint needing a job. No, this wasn't my first pick. I really wasn't ready to get back in a truck. But I'm a firm believer God's not going to put you someplace that you're not meant to be. And when I said a little prayer asking, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go from here, God? And then your phone rings almost instantly. Well, you got to kind of take it as a sign, I guess. So that's kind of the backstory on how and why I'm back to driving a truck. So you might be wondering, what's the significance of the story other than the backstory itself? Well, I often have found myself confused on where to go, and often try to pick my own direction. and often got myself into a little bit of a pickle almost every time I try to choose my own direction. But it seems like the more and more I put my faith into God to get me where I need to be, one, the less stressed out I tend to be, because I don't think God's going to put me someplace I ain't meant to be. I may not want to be, but I got to look at the big picture and say that's where I need to be. And the other thing would be is, in the long run, it tends to work out better for me. Somehow or another, whether it's for me personally, either I end up better on the end of the deal, or I come across somebody that just, for whatever reason, God brings into my life in the situation, and I guess I help other people out. I guess that's what God calls for me to do sometimes. But where I'm getting at is, you're having struggles or something, take a minute, put a little faith in God, ask God what you need to do, how you need to do it, and He'll put you right where you need to be. Like I said, it might not be what you want, but it'll probably end up being what you need, whether you realize it or not. And I know there are people out there that don't believe in a God. I can't force you to believe in what you don't want to believe in. But I know that I've put a lot of faith in God, and, I've stayed alive this long, and there's a lot of things I just can't explain. I'll be the first to admit it. There are a lot of things I don't know how to explain other than it's just a God thing, good or bad. Well, it's morning time. We overslept a little bit. Not like I'm on a hard schedule for today anyway. We ended up leaving the shingle plant like 4:45, which put us right in the heart of traffic getting out of town. And for once, the scale house was closed in Bolingbrook. And long story short, ended up catching up to an old boy. Kind of had the same theory as me on that Bolingbrook scale house and how she's open when she really ought to be closed. I say that because at 5 o'clock in the evening, when you have bumper to bumper traffic, and being open and having trucks come off the highway and trying to get back on the highway in the middle of traffic, not the smartest or safest idea. So me and him kind of got chit-chatting, talking about kids and all that fun stuff, going down the highway. Another useful tool of the CB. I'm sure somebody, I wish these dudes would shut up. Probably not, because if I didn't have it on anyway. So we're going to get out, kick the fires, light the tires, and head on down to Farmingtown. Turned my head a little bit this morning to see the sunrise. Nice, pretty colors. Nice flat ground. Look way out yonder, you might see the wind turbines flashing way over yonder. Ooh-wee. She's lighting up now. Well, we braved to Walmart. Go in there, got a few things I needed for the truck. And since it's Valentine's Day, went ahead and got Mama something real special. Thought about getting out tinkering on Fireball and Mac for a minute, but a little moist out. Maybe all good. We're going to go on home for tonight, get up in the morning, we'll head down to Tennessee, get loaded. back to Chicago. We love that place.